What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be giving you a video about my diabetic diagnosis exactly 3 years ago on December 30th. 3 years ago, I was laid out on the floor right here, right in front of this window. Our lovely Christmas tree was over there in the corner by the brown chair. I would throw up about every 30 minutes and I was 70 pounds. And I started having breathing issues. My parents thought I might have COVID-19. After we went and got our COVID-19 test, we came back home and I laid down here and I was on the verge of not being able to breathe. And if you've ever had that feeling where you're just congested and you can't breathe, it was like times 10 or 20. I thought I was gonna pass out. Once I got to that point, my parents knew that it's time for me to go to the hospital. My dad threw me in the car and we rushed to the ER. When I woke up, I had about 7 wires strapped to my body and about 3 IVs. One was in my hand, one was in my other hand, and I think another one was in my arm right here. I'd been blacking out on and off for a few hours, and when I woke up, my dad told me that I was type 1 diabetic. And at that moment, the only thing I could think of was getting a little blood glucose meter. And I was so excited to get that. But little did I know that diabetes isn't just about getting a blood sugar testing meter. It's a whole roller coaster through life that I will deal with until the day that I die. They informed me that I would have to fly down to Seattle Children's, which was about a 2-hour drive away from the current hospital that I was in. And at that hospital, they were going to take me from a helicopter pad on the top of the building and fly me down. The thing is that they only had room enough for 2 pilots and 1 passenger, which would have been me. And at that moment, my dad looked them in the eye and said, I'm going to be going with him. They had told him to take a car down and meet us down at the hospital at Seattle Children's. Well, so conveniently turns out that they created room and called in a private jet to fly us down. So I and my dad were taken down to Seattle Children's. Once I was down in Seattle Children's, I was put in the ICU for 2 days. The biggest pet peeve of my diagnosis was probably eating ice chips. For 3 whole days straight, the only thing that I could consume was these ice chips. These hospital ice chips. Just gut-wrenching. Terrible. But somehow I made it through. And then I was moved out of the ICU, and that first meal that I had, even though it was hospital food, this food tasted like heaven. Absolutely amazing. And then after a day out of the ICU, I was free to go. The point of this channel is for me to inspire you to become the best version or type 1 diabetic of yourself. This is my 3rd year of being a diabetic. And we have wrapped it up at 9 p.m. December 30th, 2023. Coming live from Ahanu's T1D Life.